So hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and those who are new to this channel, kindly make sure that to subscribe to this channel for the latest tech updates and the tech knowledge. So today is day 6 of the 7 days to data science code Python for the absolute beginners. So without any delay, let's jump in to the day 6 notebook, our Google Colab notebook. And those who don't know what is a Google Colab notebook and how does it work, you can find its video in my playlist section of the 7 days to data science course, and there you will find the video of day 0. To make sure that the journey is smooth as possible, just watch the video from day 0 without skipping any video in between. So let's jump into our day 6 Google Colab notebook. So welcome to day 6, and today is not about learning the code, but today is about learning how to think before the coding. So today is about learning how to code before the coding. So this is the difference between someone who knows the Python and someone who is data scientist. So many beginners, make one big mistake, that is they jump straight into the graphics. So professionals don't do that. Professionals follow a structure. So think the data like a new city. You don't start running randomly. First you look at the map. So EDA is that map only. By the end of this day now, you will know the exact order in which data scientists explore any data set. So in the next video, we're gonna apply this on a real Kaggle data set. But first, before applying it to the real Kaggle data set, let's first, apply it on a basic data set and just understand the, framework or the structure of the EDA, which is, I think, very important. So today we will use a large practice data set, not from Kaggle, because today it is about, thinking, not the outcomes. Okay. So let me create a realistic data set for you. So let me first import the libraries which I will be needing, like import pandas as pd, then import numpy as np, and import cvon as sns, and we learned one more library, right? Yes, matplotlib. Import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. So our libraries are ready. Now let me just quickly create the data set for you all, guys. So the data set is ready. Okay, I know you must be wondering that what is this, np dot random seed, and what is this random all. So let me explain this data set to you guys. So I have imported some libraries, and np dot random. Okay, let me just make the fonts a bit bigger for you, okay, so that you can easily see. So let's make it like 28 maybe. Okay, so now it's good. So np.random seed na, whenever you generate the random numbers and the number of times you run that particular set, you will get different random numbers every time. So we are working on a data set, right? So no matter how many times we run the cell, we should get the same random numbers every time. Suppose we are getting like 10, 20, 30, 40, then we should get these 10, 20, 30, 40 every time. So these are basically the random numbers, but we should get the same random numbers every time. So for that we use np.random.c, and here I've created a small data set of 1000 values. So np.random.rand int is used to generate random numbers. So how it works, like I have generated random numbers from 18 to 60, and I have generated the 1000 values. So here first we write the starting, then the ending, and then the number of values we need. So it will generate random integers from 18 to 16, and it will generate approx 1000 integers. Okay, so same for the salary I have done, and same for the experience I have done. And department I have chosen like 4 department, that is hr, tech, sales, and marketing. And I have assigned these 4 data departments randomly to each of the 1000 values. For example, first value has the department hr, then the second has marketing maybe, and like that. Okay, so and the same I have done for the performance score also. So these are some of the values which I have generated and created a data set of the 1000 data frames. Now let and I have I have created a basically dictionary of these. Okay. And then after creating the dictionary, I have converted this into the data frame. So for that, I have used pd.dataframe and data. And this I have taught in my, previous videos also in a very great detail, like how to convert your series into the data frame. And then I have used df.head just to, look into my data, like what it looks like. So as I have used df.head, so it's showing only, first 5 values which are in my data set. For example, someone's age is 56, salary is 34382. Then, it has, randomly generated integers for the performance score, experience, salary, and age. And for the department, it has, randomly assigned department to each of it. Okay. So this data set has 1,000 rows, and it's, big enough to think seriously. So EDA always, follows a order. So what is that order? Let me discuss that with you first. So first of all, you look at the data, okay? You look at the data, and then you understand the structure of the data. So understand the structure. Then after that, you summarize the numbers. You summarize the numbers. Then after that, you just ask the questions to the numbers, and then you visualize. Okay, I have, taught you the data visualization in my last video. So we will be utilizing, that a few graphs for visualizing the data. Then we have to create the insights out of our data. Okay, insights. So, so this is the basic structure with the which the EDA follows. Okay, so let's walk through this step by step. So our step one is to, look at the data. So how will you look at the data? So, rule number one is never trust data you haven't seen. So always, cross check the data, like look at the data on which you are gonna work. So we'll be using df.head for looking at our data, and then, this gives us a feel, like the names, numbers, and the category. So the second step is to, now we ask, like what kind of data is this? So this was the step one of looking at the data. So let me write that for you. So our step one is to look at the data. Okay. Okay, that's one. Okay. Now we'll come to step two, which is understanding our data. So understand structure of the data. Understand the structure. So how will you, understand the structure of the data? So now we ask what kind of data is this in, understanding the structure. For that, we will be using df.info. This tells us, the column names, the data types, and the memory usage. See, you can see the column names. Okay, it has, the int as its data types, and we have no null values in our data because it's shown no non-null. And, it's very important to check that whether we are having the null values in our data, just to so that we can treat the null values for later. So this step prevents the mistakes later. So the first step three is to, summarize the numbers. Summarize the numbers. So now we ask the Python to summarize. So how do we summarize? Just write df dot describe. Okay. So this answers the average, the maximum, the minimum, the spread, the standard deviation, count, like how many values do we have in the salary, in the age, in the experience, and so on. Okay, so this df.describe is to, summarize the data which we are having. So step four, and this is the most important step of the EDA, I must say, is to ask questions to the data. Okay, so ask questions to the data is the most important step. And now, just stop coding and start thinking. For example, do more experienced employees earn more money? Does department affect the salary? So how is performance distributed? And EDA starts with these questions. Okay, so in this, you just ask the questions to the data. Okay, you ask several questions. For example, like you ask, the first question is like, do more experienced employees earn more? Okay, then the second question we have we then the second question which you asked, maybe like, does department affect salary? Like, do we have higher salary in certain departments and lower salary in certain departments? And step three is, you like, how is performance distributed? Like, it's performance affecting the salary of a person. Okay, so you have to ask several questions with your data by yourself. Like, no, in the real job, no one will ask you the questions. They will just define you the problem statement, and you have to ask small questions to your data. And EDA starts with these questions. So what is our step 5? So step 5 is to visualize the distributions in our data. Visualize the distributions. So how do you visualize? So we start the visuals with the distributions. For example, let us visualize, okay, using the Seaborn library, and let us visualize the salary distribution first. So how will you know, visualize the salary? We will just write SNS dot histplot. Because we will be drawing the histogram for the visualization of the salary. So we will just write SNS dot histplot, then df dot salary. Okay, so this is a his plot, and let's give it a title, plt dot title, and we will give the title as salary distribution, because it is a salary distribution graph basically. Distribution. And we will write like plt dot show. Plt dot show, and just run this cell, and your salary distribution is here. See, so you have to understand this graph. Okay, so we just draw the graph and interpret the graph, and then based on the graph we draw several conclusions which are helpful in answering the questions that we have asked to the data. So this tells us where most values lie, and whether the data is skewed or not, and in which direction the data is skewed, whether the data is skewed in the left direction or in the right direction. Then the step 6 is to visualize the relationships. Okay, so for step 6 is to visualize the relationship. Okay, so let's visualize the relationship between the two data. Okay, so now before we have visualize the salary distribution, now we will visualizing two things, that is the experience and the salary, and this will answer our question, do more experienced employees earn more salary? Okay, so the step 6 is to visualize the relationship between the data. Earlier we have visualized the salary distribution of the employees, and we have drew several insights from the histogram. Now we'll be visualizing the relationship between the two variables, that is the experience and the salary. This answer, and this visualization will answer our question of, do more experienced employees earn more salary? So for that we can draw maybe a line plot. So it's SNS dot line plot, and we have to mention on which axis we want which data. So on x-axis I want my experience, and on y-axis, okay, let me just write, and on y-axis I want the salary. Okay, so I will be writing salary, and with that I have to mention like with data I'm using data is equals to df. Just give the title of this distribution. I will be giving it as experience versus salary. Okay, and then I will simply write plt dot show. Okay, so this will visualize the experience and the salary graph. See, we can draw a very little insight from that. For example, the employees having the experience of 30 years are getting the lowest salary, while the employees having the experience of maybe 20 years are getting the highest salary. So we can visualize this in this way, the various relationships between the data, and do several insights from that, and the answers are questioned visually. And this, and if the there are certain spikes in the data. Now just visualize another relationship. So our second question was that, does department affect the salary? So how will you answer this question? So let's answer this question in a very interesting way. Let's just visualize it in the form of a graph, so that you can answer it really easily. Okay, so let's draw a bar plot for it. You can also draw the box plot. First let's draw the bar plot so that we can easily visualize it. Okay, so we are drawing the bar plot for the X. We are taking as department because we want to know that does the department affect the salary of the employees, and on the Y axis we will be taking salary, and we are using our data as df. Okay, we can also run this cell, but in order to make it visually appealing, we should also give the title like it's the department versus the salary of the employees. Okay, now let's just write plt dot show, to adjust the edges and all. We will run this cell and see. You can easily now answer. So if someone will ask you that is there any difference in the salary of the marketing department and the tech department, so on seeing it visually you can easily answer him that no, there is not much difference in the salaries of the marketing and the tech department. And if someone asks you like which department has the highest salary, so you will just look at the graph and tell the person that sales department is having the highest salary. So department is affecting the salary of employees, but not to the great extent, and sales department have the highest salary, then the HR department is having the highest salary on the basis of the department. Okay, so you can easily answer the questions by visualizing the variables in the form of the graph. So this shows the difference clearly. Okay, so let me just show you one more thing. You can also draw the box plot and derive certain insights from it. For example, the median salary, okay, the median salary, which is the average salary, is higher in the sales department, while the median salary in the tech department is the lowest. So you can draw several insights by looking at the graph and take very wiseful decisions looking at the graph only. Okay, so now we summarize what we saw. For example, the salary increases with experience. Some departments pay more. Most salaries fall in the middle range. Like the middle range of the salaries is basically between to 60 to 80,000. Okay, so these are the insights. So EDA is not about charts. It's EDA is about thinking, checking, and explaining. So charts are just tools that help to answer the EDA question. So using the data set, write the 3 questions, draw the 2 plots, and write 1 insight. Okay, so this is your assignment for today, guys. Just use this data set only. Okay, then write the 3 questions, like random 3 questions, or you can, I would advise that you should write about 10 questions, like what questions you can ask from the data. Write 10 random questions and try to answer them by yourself by drawing the graph, and write the 1 insight, that is the conclusion at the end of the file. So if you can do this task now, you are ready for the real project. So today you learned the EDA structure, and in the next video we will use this exact structure. So make sure that you watch this video with a great detail and try to practice with the video so you're not left behind. And tomorrow we will be doing this EDA on a real Kaggle data set, and you will build a mini project on it. So if today made EDA clear, comment EDA clear, and I will see you in day 7. Meet you in the next video, that is the day 7 of the 7 days of the Python for the absolute beginners course. Till then, bye bye.